What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. There's a lot that needs to be talked about, so let's go. First thing I want to talk to you guys about is in Austin, Texas, they finally caught the bomber. And bad news for him. Well, the man the police believe was responsible for this string of package bombs that were lethal in Austin has died after a shootout with the police that ended with him killing himself with an explosive device that he had himself early Wednesday, police confirmed. Uh, Austin Police Chief mainly said that in a conference that the man, a 24-year-old male, white male, named Mark Anthony Condit of Pflugerville, Texas, killed himself after detonating an explosive while still in his car as SWAT team members approached him on foot after being pursued along I-35 in the Round Rock district in North Austin. And one officer fired on the suspect and another was injured by the blast. And mainly he confirmed that the suspect was behind a series of five, but I think there were six bombings which terrorized Austin in the last 2 weeks, killing two people. And he also urged Austin not members, but residents and its surrounding towns and cities to remain vigilant because there might still be packages out there. So still be careful out there, you guys. And he said, "We believe that this individual is responsible for all of the incidents that have taken place in Austin starting March 2nd to now." And he said, "We don't know where he has been in the last 24 hours, and we need your communities to remain vigilant. If you still see something out of place, let the police know and everything else along the way." And mainly said that in the last 24 to 36 hours, police have identified the man and the case and everything along the way, and they tracked him down in a hotel in the Round Rock area. And officers were waiting for a tactical ballistics team to arrive before engaging him. But before they do that, he drove off, and that's when the police chase happened. And Austin police tweeted at 2:46 a.m. that it was a officer involved shooting, and the ATF confirmed that its officials were on the scene and closed I-35 for this scenario. Now, a police investigation will be taking place in the matter of the bomber, despite the death of the main suspect. An internal APD department will also take place to establish whether the officer who fired at the suspect was following officer protocols. And he mainly said that the one thing we don't have right now is a motive. We don't understand what motivated him to do this. Do we not see what's going on in our nation right now with like the racism and everything else going on? I'm guessing that's not clicking on into him. But he says we don't know whether he was on his way to deliver another bomb. It's obvious he had what motive to to send this bomb to someone else. And a local news team, Channel 4 News in San Antonio, reported that they showed pictures of an individual who came over to a South Austin FedEx office on Sunday evening, and the photo showed him wearing gloves and a cap, so he won't be identified and everything. And he showed that he had the package and everything on the way. And then on Tuesday, a package exploded at a FedEx facility at Schertz, 20 miles northwest of San Antonio, injuring one employee hours before one or two of the other devices blew off at the Goodwill store in Austin, and it left a single employee injured. And Austin police stressed that the Goodwill device was not connected to the string of bombings in Austin. Now, that is it's good and bad at the same time because you got this going on. But I'm glad that this is all done, but I'm still scared for my friends and family that live in Austin. So if you guys still see anything out there, let the police know. Don't touch anything. Don't go near it. Just let the police know ASAP. Okay? Second thing I want to talk to you guys about is growing up, there were a lot of shows that I love watching. Cartoons such as Arthur, Cyber Chase, Static Shock, Jackie Chan Adventures. And then there was this one show that I truly, truly loved, and it was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And whenever you just hear that song that he always sings, it just makes you go, "Oh." If you don't know what song I'm talking about this song.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine?
Yes, that song. I loved watching that show with Mr. Rogers and the puppets and everything along the way. Well, here's some good news about that. In honor of the late Fred Rogers' 90th birthday, Focus Features has released a trailer for Won't You Be My Neighbor, a documentary on the life and work of the beloved child television host. Guys, I'm just loving it. I love Mr. Rogers. I want to see this movie. Now, Mr. Rogers, he held the show for like the long running, low budgeted not film program, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It was directed by Morgan Neville, who won an Oscar for similarity feel good documentary 20 Feet from Stardom. The film basically it just talks about Mr. Rogers and everything that he's done for us. How he fought for our education in a way. How he was just amazing. That's all I can say. He was amazing, and it premiered in 1968, a year where politics and culture and upheaval, and it addressed so much, such as like death, because it actually came when JFK was assassinated. So basically, they were actually talking about that kind of thing. They were talking about divorce. They were talking about segregation. So many people, African American actor Francois Clemens, who played Officer Clemens for 25 years. That dude was amazing. I'm gonna tell y'all that too. He explains in an interview that he and Fred shared a kiddie pool on the air, and it's basically a direct response for Rogers to the segregation of African to American swimming pools. You know how people were getting segregated and everything along the way, and he broke that barrier, Mr. Rogers and Mr. Clemens. I love it, and if you get on Twitch, they're actually showing all the episodes of Mr. Rogers. So if you don't know what Twitch is, it's basically a website where gamers show how cool they are in playing video games and everything along the way, and they do other things as well. So it's really cool. But knowing about this is really great, and they got the spinoff. I think it's Daniel Tiger's neighborhood. I can't remember the name. I know his name is Daniel, and I know he's a tiger. But hearing about this is just it's just so awe-inspiring to me. Just hearing about this as well. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Stephon Clark. If you guys don't know what happened about this individual, he was killed by Sacramento police officers in his grandmother's backyard because they believe that he had a gun pointed to him, where it was actually a cell phone, an iPhone to be precise. But like I said, investigators they said they found no weapon on the scene, but only a cell phone nearby, and this was all captured on two officers' body cams and from a police helicopter, and it was just released on Wednesday. Now, the video shows a brief encounter between the police and Clark lasting less than a minute from the moment when the officer saw him to when they told him to, hey, show me your hand, stop, stop. And in the dark, this is when it happened, the two police officers chased Clark into the backyard of his grandmother's house. One police officer can hear say, show me your hands, and he says, gun, 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 when they see the iPhone. And once they see that, they immediately fired on Clark. And Clark went to the ground and he tried to crawl, but he just didn't make it. And his death has caused an outrage for a lot of people in their neighborhood because they say that the officers should be accountable for his death. And police say that they said that the officers fired only because they were scared and they thought that their lives were at stake. Now, when asked about this, police said that they thought that it was a gun and everything else on the way, but there's so much going on. And Clark's grandmother, Sequita, yes, Thompson, I hope I said the name correctly, said that she was inside the house when she heard the gunshots fired and saw him on his iPhone. She said he was right there dead. I told the officer, she said, you guys are murderers, murderers, murderers. And this is what really happened and how all this incident happened. So the police got a call saying that there was a man who has broken car windows and was hiding in the backyard, and the man was described as 6'1", wearing a black hoodie and pants, as the police said in a statement. Officers arrived near that area and they aided the team with a Sacramento Sheriff's Department helicopter. And they said that the helicopter was going around making sure, and finding personal items. And they found that the suspect had picked up a toolbar and broken a window to a residence. Now, the helicopter team observed the man running and looked like into another car, and the helicopter kept guiding the police to where the man was in the backyard of the home. And the camera showed the man running from one backyard and he hopping the fence into another yard and everything else along the way. And you can just see the capture footage and everything. And when they got to Clark's grandmother's house, that's when they saw him. He was on the phone, and when at that moment Clark turned around, he advanced towards police officers while he was holding the iPhone, and that's when the police fired on him. Now, if you look at the footage, it's dark and shaky, and the helicopter pivots, blocking the aerial view of Clark and the two officers as well. And when they hit him 20 times, as heard from as read from CNN, from Washington Post, and everything on the way, and that they handcuffed him, but it was too late because they tried everything they could to bring him back to life, but it was just too late. Now, the two officers involved in this shooting have 2 to 4 years experience with the Sacramento police, and both have 4 years prior experience with other agencies. And the officers have been placed on paid administrative leave, and admitted to a forced investigation. They should not be paid for something that they did. They should actually be going to trial for murder on the account that A, they didn't know what was going on. B, if you was trying to, you could, there are alternative ways of bringing down an individual, but instead you thought the right thing to do was just shoot 20 times at this individual who was on the phone, knowing whoever he was talking to. And Stephon Clark, he was a dad of 2 young kids. He wanted the entire world for them. He wanted them to make sure they go to school, make sure they were well, make sure they knew that they could make a difference. And now with this happening, it's going to be scary for them. And for you guys listening to this, it's just hassle because, when you have family who are police officers, it's so much for you to bear, saying that, yeah, my family doesn't do this, but yet people are going to criticize your family for being police officers and saying, oh yeah, you say that, but they actually are going to do this. No, people, my family 100% would not be doing that. And that's my word. Finally, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is one of Trump's lawyers has left his legal team. Apparently, Donald Trump's lead lawyer in the Russia investigation has left his legal team, and attorney John Dowd is confirming his decision in an email to the Associated Press. Now, he said that he loved the president and he wishes him well. And all this is going on when, it's just so weird because another of Trump's lawyer, John Sekulow, I believe, is also confirming Dowd's departure. Now, this actually is happening because days after Trump has added a new lawyer to his team, former U.S. Attorney Joseph Genova. I always mess up names. And he basically, who was alleged on television that FBI officials were involved in a brazen plot to exfoliate or externate, I'm not sure what the word is correctly, Hillary Clinton in the email investigation and frame Trump for non-exist crimes. Yeah, as I told you guys, our whole nation is fucked up. But with that being said, I want you guys to tell me what you guys think about this whole thing with the Austin bomber, with the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood documentary, with Stephon Clark. I hope his name, if it's If I said the name incorrectly, I do apologize on that. And also on John Dow. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let the people know I am out there for you guys, because I am actually always out there for you guys. I love you guys no matter what. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a lovely day. Peace out.